Happy early Halloween, Woodrow.
Thank you for the early Halloween.
What's your favorite Halloween candy?
Probably a Snickers or a Butterfinger.
You ever go somewhere and you got full sizes, right? I think you
Yeah.
talked about that before.
Yeah, I think that's what, as a kid, that's what you are looking for. You want the full size. You don't want this fun size shit. There's enough of those running around.
What was the candy that you least liked? The one that you were like most
Almond
ready
Joy
to show?
Mounds.
Oh, not Reese's peanut butter cups, you fucking freak.
That's number 3. Number 1 is Almond Joy.
Do you not like coconut?
Mounds. No, not particularly.
And
Not like that. Not like that. Like if it's a coconut milk or something, then sure. But like coconut in those, they're just terrible. Mounds and Almond Joy are terrible. I don't care if one's got nuts and one don't. I don't want them either way.
You care. How about hard candy? What's your favorite hard candy? Like Smarties?
Yeah, I like Smarties. Smarties are good.
Sweet Tarts?
I do. I prefer the chewy ones, but yeah.
Chewy ones are new to the game.
Yeah, they
Those
are.
haven't been
Yeah,
around a long
they're
time.
pretty new. I think probably Lifesavers though. If I'm picking.
You're a fucking old woman, man. Like, do they have to have lint on it and shit, man? For, get the
Yes.
full effect. My dudes, you two came out the gate swinging last week. The second these ears heard dick-filled wooget, I knew we were in for a treat. Classic episode. Since last week, the Padres lost it, but so did the Yankees. So all is right in the world. Go Phillies. Poor Tom is in the midst of one hell of a midlife crisis. Job sucks.
Oh man.
Job sucks. Wife is definitely gone with all his shit.
Ugh.
Only way he'll play with his kids is if they're dressed up like a football. 3 and 5. Jesus. What's it like to be a normal middle-aged dude, Tom? It sucks.
Oh yeah. Welcome to life, buddy.
At least we have the Bruins. Lastly, love you, Jamathan. Mac. Yo.
Wow.
That's funny. He's getting like a dose of reality. Job sucks. I honestly believe his job doesn't suck still.
No.
Still.
No.
But for him, his job sucks.
Yeah. As he's currently playing and things are as currently constituted, yes, I would say he thinks it probably sucks.
Here's the thing, though. Here's me looking into his life. You know, I have no business doing. But he was going to retire last year,
Yeah,
right? And then he's like, joke's on you, bitch. You know, stand by while
Yeah,
I keep living
yeah,
my life. And she's like, oh, word? She's probably...
Yeah, she's ready to get going.
Yeah.
Like, I got things that we're gonna do. I got things.
You think she's banging Tom's manservant?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was here for me, Tom.
Yeah.
Pull that Jada Pinkett Smith shit on him.
Did you see that Antonio Brown is going all crazy on him now?
On Tom Brady?
Yeah. Yeah.
Antonio Brown's not in the league, right?
No.
Okay, so what'd he
But
say?
who kept him in the league?
Thomas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now he's just talking shit about him, about Giselle. Like, bro.
Like he wants to bang her?
No, not really. Just basically taunting him, kind of like, haha, asshole, how does it feel?
So he's
kinda
going Scottie
shit.
Pippen on him.
Yeah.
That's fucked up, man.
Like, you stayed relevant in the league for a long time because of
That's
that
fucked up.
guy.
Tom will
Yeah.
have the last laugh.
Yeah.
Hard prep. Wooden Keith. I placed the Costco purse incident as the top Keith story, but the gravel-ass dog hottie comes in a close second. Funny. There was more to that story, and I didn't even get into it. I've had a lot of dogs come and go, both big and small, but none hit as hard as my wife's 16-year-old small mix that passed 1 year ago. Big dogs are like losing a friend. Small dogs are like losing a child. Either way, Keith, I feel you. Way to prep hard for this one, boys. Good episode. Love, Jamathan. Let me say this. First of all, we prepped hard because that was our third podcast in one day.
Yeah, that was our third show on that particular day.
We were first year fucked up in that one because we had to find our cadence, right? Over the years, we used to just come here and we'd bullshit, we'd take shots, and
just go hard right out the gate.
sniff glue and Robitussin and all that shit, right? And then we go and record and be like, oh, that's weird. Why they talk like that?
Yeah.
Now we've got a cadence, but that one there, after doing that guest spot, then closed door,
Yeah.
and then the real show. So we were fucked up. Now, I don't understand this analogy. Big dogs are like losing a friend. Small dogs are like losing a child. I don't understand that. Because for me, big dogs are the way to go. Now, I know you don't like big dogs, but big dogs can do something for you. Just the bark alone can deter a robber. You know what I mean? And just that presence. Now, they'll put a hurting on your fucking yard, as I'm relearning again.
I think little dogs deter robbers, just because you said detour. But
Did
they
I?
could deter. Yeah, you did.
Did I really? Play the tape, motherfucker.
But little dogs can, just because they know, shit, we got to deal with these, and they're going to wake up the entire neighborhood yipping. So
I watch a lot of IDTV because I have nothing else to do. And there was this guy that would take the little dog and just pick it up and either put it in the oven, the washing machine, or the freezer, which is fucked up. But
yeah, but that's all you gotta do.
Can you imagine you come home and your fucking house is robbed, and you're like, yo, where's Scruffy?
Yeah.
And you're looking and you're putting the house back together, and you open the freezer, get some ice to make you drink, and your fucking dog's just frozen there. You're like, this motherfucker! You can't do that to a big dog.
No.
The one benefit little dogs have over big dogs in my heart is smaller pieces of shit.
Yeah, that's a benefit. However, sometimes you don't know if you've had your going back to our aeration episode. You don't know if it's been aeration or shit, or maybe one of your kids took a Tootsie Roll and dropped it out there. Speaking of Halloween candy,
but to lose a dog is a fucked up.
Where's the Tootsie Roll on your Halloween candy list?
Oh, that's dead. That's right there behind those beer bottle cap fucking things. You know the the root beer shit. Oh, I hate
are
those
you talking about like the chalky ones?
Yeah,
yeah.
The bottle caps.
And they came in like the seal pressed, the little package you had to tear open.
Yeah.
Those, I could get behind those.
I threw at other kids on the school bus the next day. Just hit them right in the back of their little heads, man. I wasn't a bully. All right. Now here's a little story that I like to tell. Got to tell. This is Paul Revere, Beastie Boys, right?
Yeah.
Well, this one's from Misty. And
oh, boy.
Misty's doing Misty-type things, and I don't have the mental acumen or horsepower to read this complete thing, so I'm just going to take out snippets of it because it's well written.
Yes.
Ever thought maybe some girls had an abortion because they were being threatened by their sperm donor? If I didn't have an abortion, I would have been buried under a fence post, packed in cement, never to be seen again. Sperm donor also injected me without my consent. So, all right, was it a rape, or did he just say, I'm not going to come in you, I'm not going to come in you, and then it came in you? So, there's a... I'm not trying to make light of that at all. I don't know how that goes. But we weren't saying women shouldn't have an abortion. That's not what we're saying. We're saying if you want to have an abortion, and I as a guy always wanted to be a father, hey, hand it off. Yeah. Hand it off. Because what we were saying was the woman has that choice to say, I either want to be a mother or I don't want to be the mother. But the guy doesn't have the choice to say, I want to be a father or I don't want to be a father, which I get it. It's your body. But if you don't want to be a mother and he's down to say, hey, I'll take the kid and you never have to see this kid again.
I'll disappear, I'll run away.
That should be something there because, his heart and spirit would hurt as well if he really wants his kid.
Sure.
Am I making that clear?
Yeah. I think that's what we were trying to convey at the time, and I don't even remember what episode that was she's referring to, but I remember talking about that. Yeah.
Well, you remember the song Paul Revere because she puts another quip from Paul Revere by the Beastie Boys. A lot of girls don't talk about why they had one because we were in abusive relationships, either verbal, physical, or both. It's bad enough we were in that relationship. People don't talk about it because they are ashamed for doing it, regardless of why. More times than not, it's a traumatizing decision. I agree with that at all.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to think if somebody just walked in and said, I'd like an abortion and a teriyaki beef jerky stick. I mean, I'm sure they're really beating themselves up for this one way or another because, it's first of all, it's a part of you, right? And it's evasive. And whether you look at it as a life now or a life in, a year, whatever the case, it's still got to hurt. But
yeah, they're not. I don't think that it is. I think it gets portrayed pretty ugly as far as that goes. Like I don't think women are at the wherever just like oh hey Susie, you're back.
Right.
Yeah, just another one.
Yeah.
Hey, can I get some fried rice and orange chicken
on
my way out the door?
Right.
Oh yeah, we already have it prepped for you. It's not like going to the local bar every other day.
But you need to eat it to go. I don't want you bleeding on my chest again. Chinese food restaurant.
Yeah.
Okay, last paragraph I'm going to read.
Okay.
It's always scary to open up about it because the immediate judgment you get. I'm very open about it with people because it helped others open up about what happened to them. It's a huge weight off your shoulders. I kept mine hitting for a year and was immediately homeless the day after I did it. Wow. But I picked up my pieces pretty quick and made life work. And then she goes, so I'm on the run. The cops got my gun, and right about now it's time to have some fun. And then the last line is so what you're saying said, rocket till the break of dawn. That's, again, Beastie Boys. Anyway, that's from Misty, and there's a lot more to this, and it's very well written. I just don't want to misconstrue, Misty, the fact that, or what you thought, what I perceive that you thought us saying in terms of don't have an abortion. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is if I'm a dude and I knocked up some girl, especially if this motherfucker's like 6'5".
Oh, yeah.
Say I knocked up a 6'5", 210. I'll even take 210, right? Nice, long, sturdy legs and shit. And then she wants some water. I'm like, yo, that's my retirement. Hand that off right here. I'm
Yeah.
either, what's his name? What the fucking, the football player for the Raiders. What the fuck's his name? God damn it. Todd Marinovich.
Okay.
His dad never gave him sweets and made him a quarterback and made the league. Or Tiger Woods' dad.
Yeah.
Or Venus and Serena Williams' dad. I could do that. But being that just this big fucking linebacker. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just
I
a
mean,
big one.
if you're
do not abort.
Yeah.
I like to see
If you're
Shaq's
having-
real dad. Shaq's real dad's got to be a monster because his mom she was like 6'1".
Yeah, she
Big
was
lady.
a pretty big lady.
Look at
I
that.
imagine he was, but he's never really. But
Phil's his father. That's his stepfather.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think there's anyone out there that's like, has that ever been been public?
Like somebody looking for Shaq, the
yeah,
dad.
yeah,
I've never heard of it. I'm sure he came. I mean, come on, you got this 7'1"
yeah,
motherfucker.
yeah. And look at who he is. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's knocked on the door a time or two.
What he should have, the route he should have went is, those 1970 sitcoms where he had amnesia, right? He hit his head on the car hood, like the hood slammed on his head, and he forgot who he was.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he
Show
moved,
up.
Yeah, he moved to Portugal or somewhere, right? And then he just, I was hearing you dunk the ball, and it reminded me I had a family. I want to be a
He
part.
shows up. Oh, hey,
Yeah.
I know this is gonna sound crazy.
Anyway, Missy, thanks for resurfacing. We love to hear from you. Appreciate you. That's the end of the
Oh
emails.
boy, that is the end of our emails. Which brings us to, as all you are very aware, to our snaggles. Now, if you're watching live, you saw me grab a IV
bag.
bag off the wall. These are not filled with blood. These are in the spirit of Halloween. These were given to us. It does have, mine has my name on it. It says name Wood. It says age. Age is crossed out, and it says sex, and then just says yes. So I don't know what that's about. But it's an IV bag, and it's full of a brownish liquid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Mine says Keith,
Mhm.
and under age it says old AF. I'm certain somebody needs a smack in the face for writing that, but this is mine. So this is an IV bag, but when I first saw it, you were fortunate enough to have both your grandmothers in your life for quite some time, and I'm
I
sure you
did,
spent
yeah.
time over their house. Doesn't this look like the douche they used to use hanging over the damn shower curtain?
Yeah.
Remember that
yeah.
shit? And you go in there and you be like, Grandma, what's this? What's this? And she, don't touch it. don't touch it.
This
Like,
is-
okay.
Yeah, this is my colostomy bag extra here, is what it more looks like. Either way, I'm told we could drink it, so I'm going to try it here, see what it's all about. Well, that's bourbon.
That dog a hunt.
That's bourbon.
I don't know what this is. This
Bourbon.
A little sweet. This is bourbon too?
I don't know. I haven't tried yours. I only tried mine. Like I said, these were gifted.
Yeah, that's delicious.
Mm.
We know the person
That's
that gave
pretty
this to us, right? You
Yeah.
didn't just get this randomly out your
No,
mailbox.
no, somebody didn't just run by and throw it out
Okay.
the window. Say, here,
Okay.
drink this, assholes. No.
It's my grandma's dish.
No, mine is definitely bourbon. So I'm grateful for that. That's delicious. I will.
You gonna
drink that.
mainline it? Fuck. Get to the
I
advertisement.
might. Oh yeah, sorry. As always, guys, our Snaggles is brought to you by, first and foremost, Tiger Claw Tattoo, 801-410-4245. They over there in Mill Creek.
You see the memes coming around every Halloween. You got the girl that got the pumpkin tattooed on her ass
Yeah.
or painted on her ass.
Yeah. Oh, which
Yeah.
reminds me,
Oh.
that's Tiger Claw right now, and I'm sure it's probably too late, unless you live right there close. They're doing a flash sale where they put out a bunch of pieces of artwork. You could go down, sign up, and they're anywhere from like $75 to $250, and they'll ink you up. You just get in a list. They ink you up, and you're
Okay.
out the door. So it's a flash sale, and they run through all the artists to kind of showcase their work, but they're all Halloween-ish kind of themed. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. So
Funny
they got some
enough-
Day of the Dead stuff. They got skulls, spiders, shit like
Funny
that.
enough, that information would have been helpful last week for people to plan out there.
Yeah, well, they didn't post it until this week, so
okay.
there you
Yeah,
go. I
passed
couldn't.
the buck. Blame it
yeah.
on them.
We have MVPJerseyFraming.com, 801-910-7556. He does not have any kind of flash sale going on today, but he is in business anytime. So if you want to give him a holler, call him at 3 a.m.
Holla.
I wouldn't
No, I would
advise
call at 3
that. But call MVP Jersey Framing, get your stuff framed up. I'm wearing this Pittsburgh Pirates jacket. Maybe one day when we win the pennant, I'll put it up there.
Willie
way.
Stargell. Willie Stargell.
Well, I'll have him frame it up. Last up, we have Kick Rocks Clothing. That's Instagram.com/KickRocksClothing. He's also on Facebook. He posted up a fashion show.
Really?
Where he was at a fashion show. Now, I don't know. He didn't really give much context if some of his clothing and artwork was on the runway, but that's the impression I got. So I'll wait for him to reach out. But
even if not, he's in the room. He's in the room with people.
Yes.
So that's how you make connects, right?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. He's killing the game over there. He's in Florida, so go check them out. Or like I said, Instagram. If you see something on his Instagram you like, hit him up, send him a message. He'll get you that and get you going. So, yeah, that is our advertisements.
All right. Well, it's our Halloween episode. And as always, this is how we met Larry. And this is how we met
Larry and friends.
Larry and friends twice.
Yep. And we met demons a couple of times.
Yeah.
Yeah. You had AIDS once.
Who was it? Was it Nicole? Was her name Nicole? We had the girl in there that saw spirits. Kim, and Greg.
Yep.
So every year we do something. We tell the stories. I mean, you would, midgets running across your fucking hallway and shit, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna do that again. But before we do,
okay,
because we can't let this slide. What the fuck's up with Nancy Pelosi and her whole thing? Now, you were telling me more about it off air. All I said was, with the way Chicago's going and this crime's been decriminalized and this crime's been decriminalized, I always thought the federal government would step in and say, hey, our citizens cannot be victims. You guys have to charge for these things. That's what I thought.
I thought so, too. Right. And don't they live in the Pelosi's, aren't they in Washington?
They're in D.C. or Maryland or Virginia, somewhere in there, right?
I'm pointing the wrong way, but yeah, that way.
But now that her husband got his ass kicked, do you think they're going to come up tougher on crime now that somebody broke in? But then you told me
that the theories running around because you could go out there and now I'm not an insider. I don't have insider information. All I can do is read what's put out there.
Okay.
And what I've read thus far is that when the police showed up, Mr. Pelosi and this hammer robber were both in their undies.
Okay. When you say hammer, what do you mean?
He had a hammer.
I have a hammer. What are you talking about?
I don't know. That's all. Hammer. So take it for what it is. Actually, he had a that
physical
you put
hammer.
Yeah, that you nail people. Wait a minute.
Keep going, because that's I'm
yeah.
Right on.
So it had a wood handle and a metal top. It did bang bang like an actual hammer for work. Okay. Now, damn it. There's no way to win this, but you know what I'm talking about.
My top is metal sometimes, man. It's a wood handle like a motherfucker. You know that.
Yeah. So. He's arrested with his hammer. He's in his underwear, but Mr. Pelosi supposedly is in his underwear as well. There's reports. The 911 call, if you haven't listened to it, it's kind of neat. It's kind of neat, to hear like the call. Just in general, I think that's kind of fascinating to listen to.
The 911 operator?
Yeah.
And they're always calm as shit, right?
Yeah. Like the world can be on fire, and what is your emergency?
Yeah, right.
The world's on fire!
Sir, would you please stop yelling?
Can you please calm down? No! I love it.
I love them. They're awesome.
Anyway, so
what if we could find one to get on here? That'd be badass.
Ooh, we might have to put our feelers out
Just
there.
start calling 911 and asking them.
What's your emergency? Well, I would like you to come on this podcast. They're going to be the ones getting excited. Anyway, so he's in his undies on the 911 call. Mr. Pelosi says, my friend is in here. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of theories floating around that it was a lover's quarrel gone awry.
Yeah, see, and I don't even care about that. Get your freak on. Get your freak on. You look at Pelosi, and, back in the day, you're out there, you're meeting girls and stuff, and you think you can generally figure out, what would get that person. You look at Pelosi, I have no idea what the fuck would get her off, right?
No.
So maybe she likes to watch. I wonder if they had on tighty whities. I'm gonna go tighty whities.
Yeah, it has to be. It has
tighty
to be.
Whities. So maybe that gets her. Maybe they were filming for her. Who knows? That'll never come out. But whatever it takes to get your freak on, just don't call us or call the public and say, "Oh, my husband was attacked." No, give us the whole story.
Yeah, exactly.
Give us the whole fucking story.
Exactly. So something's weird there, according to everything coming out, and it's. If you look at the mainstream of it, and to your point, with the crime and people are breaking in, that's kind of gone a little bit hush.
Okay.
Usually that's covering something up. Now, if he was assaulted and that, it needs to be dealt with, and I'm 100% on board with that. Just give me the whole story, even if it's a lover's quarrel gone sideways, and he beat his ass. he should still be paid.
He was probably already beating his ass.
Yeah,
and he didn't want his ass beat anymore.
Yeah,
right?
that's probably true. He is. What, he's 77.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, you gotta slow down, because from what I understand, they have the guy in custody. He's 43, 42, something like that. So he's a little more spry.
Well, like Keith Sweat said, something just ain't right. Number one. Number two, if you're 73 and you've been hiding a double life like for that long, good on you.
Yeah.
Good on you, man.
Game.
But your wife's got to know. You know.
But first of all, it's the Pelosi's.
Yeah.
Second of all, he ain't hiding shit.
Okay.
She signed off on it and said keep it quiet if that's what's happening, because she's Speaker of the House, right? That's her title.
Yeah.
Like she is. Like, you can't get any higher other than president than what she is.
Right.
Like, she's pretty legit, so she's got to keep that quiet too. And she knows.
And
she knows.
See, so you look at it, and that's a different notion of ass to mouth, because ass to mouth is normally the same ass and the same mouth, right? But she's going from it, she can't suck it, right? She can't. She's like, did you see Timmy today? And she's like, yeah, I did. Well, I'm not putting that thing anywhere near my face. It stays below my titties. Right?
Well, from what I understand, she has dentures, so
those are called smoothies, to quote my boy Lynn.
Yeah.
Those are called smoothies. All right, anyhow, I just wanted to get that out the way. And I would also like to say that last year I talked about The Watcher.
Yeah.
And you're welcome, Netflix, because now you got a big series on the fucking Watcher. Nobody had ever heard of The Watcher till Keith talked about it.
That's right.
So what you're saying, show.
Exactly right.
So
same with those. There's some other shows that like they put the cameras up in their house because it's haunted and everything. Yeah, they came from my childhood.
They stole it. They stealing our ideas.
Keep stealing
Netflix,
our
stop
stuff.
listening.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want to go first, Woody?
Well, so I want to address this phenomenon. It's happening across the good old U.S. of A. And that is that we idolize. Maybe that's a little bit strong, but I feel like that's the right word. Infatuated with serial killers.
Mm-hmm.
We're infatuated with murderers.
Yeah.
So we can name murderers, right? Like we can name a serial. We talked before we got on this show right now. We can name off a list of serial killers.
Mm-hmm.
We can name their names. Can you name their victims? No, because we're infatuated with the serial killer.
Right.
So somebody can take 33 young men and boys, kill them, rape them, and bury them in their wine cellar.
Wayne Gacy.
Okay, John Wayne Gacy.
Let's do that. Give me the crime, and I'll guess the serial killer.
Okay,
right?
okay. All right.
Okay.
So Gacy can do that, and how many of his victims can you name? There's 33 of them, so you got a pretty good shot.
Mike.
Yes. Yeah, see? Everybody forgets about Mike.
Right.
All right? Or you can be a racist asshole that lives in the 70s and the 80s into the 90s, take gay men from the bars and kill them.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Okay,
was it confirmed he was a racist, or did he just have a fetish?
I'm just going to say he's killed by a black guy in prison.
But all right, so
okay. Maybe it's not confirmed, but here's my theory. All right. So, Jeffrey Dahmer is in 70s to 80s to the 90s is kind of like his peak. The 80s, and he's arrested in 91, I think. So, in the 80s, there's a lot of racial tension in the U.S. I mean, not that there isn't now, but there was a lot then. Okay. So, if you look at where he lived, it was a poor, rundown, like government housing for black people. He's the only white dude in there. He's got probably has military assistant because he was like released from the military, so he's got military money probably. He's got a job, so he doesn't need to live there, but he's living there because of why? He knows as a white guy, if he hides in a poor black community, he can get away with anything. No one's going to touch him.
Right.
Why? Because the police are probably a little bit racist during that time and letting a lot of things slide. So he's preying on these young black men.
So what I'm hearing is if you live in a black neighborhood and there's one white guy, he's dangerous.
Yeah, I'm going to say yeah. It's like the redheads that live 3 doors down from you in Boston. Right?
They were across the street, and they never stopped breeding. Don't even get me started on that. But let me say this on the racist thing, okay? And I'm gonna use like Muslims for an example. Okay. All right. And this is gonna be rudimentary, so you know what the fuck you're listening to. So anyway, they don't like pork. They don't eat pork. They don't touch pork. They hate pork. Okay. So if I'm a racist, do I want to eat black people? Do I want to fuck them, especially when they're dead? I mean, do I want to do that?
What better way to show your dominance over something though?
Okay.
Like what like if I think I'm superior to you, I'm gonna eat you.
Okay. So,
I'm gonna take advantage of your body,
I hear you.
and then I'm gonna eat you
Okay.
because I'm dominant and I'm superior.
So what I'm hearing from you is we need to have a conversation with another person in the room, probably a therapist, and work some of this out because you're scaring me right now. Speaking of Halloween.
But that's how I see it. Now I could be wrong. Sure. Maybe that's just his style. Maybe that's just what he likes. Because everybody has likes. Like, you send in a certain type of lady in the room, and I'm going to get all hot and bothered versus a different type you send in, and I'm going to be like, meh, next, So it could be just his like. However, that's my take on it.
Let me play the other side on it. What I'm just going to say is I think maybe he posted up in that area because crime is slow to be reported. Or taken seriously. Case in point, the kid that ran out and he said it was his boyfriend. And he's 19 and we just got in a quarrel and the cop's like, yeah, whatever. Now, if you do that in Pelosi's neighborhood, they're going to be like, no, this doesn't fucking fly. We need to find out what the fuck's going on. First of all, what's this Asian dude doing in his neighborhood? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? So I think it's more that way.
It could be
as
more
opposed to being a straight up racist. I don't know Dahmer, but that's just my thought.
Okay. It could it could be a bit presumptuous.
Okay, next one.
Next one. So, this person liked to kill the ladies. He liked to. Here's a real fun fact. Yeah. He was arrested.
Go ahead.
Just a few doors down from where I grew up.
Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
Tell that story.
Okay, so back in the day, Mr. Ted Bundy ran rampant. Mm-hmm. He had an infatuation for the young ladies. And he would feign an injury and say, "Hey, I need help." And he drove a Volkswagen Beetle for hell's sakes, like of all cars to cruise around.
It's a hippie car. Beetle? That in the van.
I guess true. 70s, 80s. Yeah, you're cruising around in a hippie car. So he would feign an injury, lure them over, and knock them unconscious. Just get them in the car or whatever he had to do, and he would take them off and he would kill them. Oftentimes, he was. Is it called necrophilia? Having sex with a dead body? He would do that for however long. 20 confirmed cases? It's 20 or 30. I think it's 20 confirmed cases and then many, many more that he claimed that bodies were never found. Interesting fact to that. So I have some family that has a missing, it was their daughter. Went missing. They believe.
I didn't notice.
Yeah, they would believe that she went missing at the hands of Ted Bundy.
Brunette?
Yeah.
Long brown hair?
Yep.
Yeah.
Same age. She was 16 when she disappeared. So Ted Bundy, like 14 to early 20s is his range. So it's pretty broad.
That's what got him off.
Yeah. As long as they had breasts and a little bit of hair, I think he was fine. So so she disappears during his reign when he's here. He's arrested shortly after being here. So they assume her body's never been found. So she was 16. She had to have been 16 at the time because they would leave the porch light on. And when she would get home from a date or hanging out with friends or whatever, she would come in, shut the door, turn the light off.
Yeah.
And
that's what I had to do too.
Yeah. So she never turned the porch light off. So they don't find her. They don't see her. They've never found her body to this day. They don't know whatever happened to her, just poof, disappeared. It's still a cold case because I know prior to his execution, he was asked about it and he denied knowledge of it, but they still feel like it's all kind of leading up to being Ted Bundy.
Yeah, well, once you get your hands dirty that many fucking times, some slip through the cracks, right?
Yeah, I would say.
33, was it 42?
Yeah.
I don't know. How come Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, the fucking other one we were talking about? Gacy. How come they don't have cool ass nicknames like the Night Stalker or Hillside Strangler or Son of Sam, Boss? How come they didn't never get great nicknames? Oh shit!
You weren't supposed to see that list because, I don't know honestly, but I prefer them to have their name. So, Jeffrey Dahmer, he had a younger brother. I think it's David Dahmer, changed his name, and nobody knows where the hell he's at.
To Vance?
Vance
Dahmer?
Yeah.
Change what part of his name?
His last name.
Oh, okay.
his surname. He changed it because he didn't want to be Dahmer anymore. He wanted to be. He didn't want to be associated with Dahmer.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Dahmer's dad was like, I still love my son. Yeah, he's a shitty person. He did terrible things, but I still love my son. His mom ended up dying, so whatever. She's gone, but she had taken back her maiden name.
Okay.
But then his brother's like, hell no.
I'm with him.
That asshole, I'm not part of that guy. I would have done the same thing.
Out of all the sperm that comes out of you in one fucking ejaculate, that's the one that shows up. And this is what you get. I mean, seriously, if you're the dad, you have to look at that and go, this.
Damn.
Is what the fuck cheap vodka does on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So I think I prefer, honestly, if, I get that the media loves giving nicknames to killers because it draws a story. It draws clicks. Back then, it was the newspapers. It would buy newspapers because you were reading up on the stories, which is most of where all this came from. Okay. Is the newspapers. You had to have something to catch the attention, so you give it a name.
Got it. But you could put Son of Sam Strikes Again up there.
Yeah. All of that. Zodiac Killer. Shit like that. People love that stuff. But I prefer the name Ted Bundy. Oh, shit. Anyone with the last name Bundy now? Hey, did you have an uncle?
But you had Married with Children, and I thought they kind of dispelled that. I mean, Al Bundy. I mean,
yeah, unless somebody shakes my hand and says, "Hi, my name's Al Bundy."
Okay.
Then any Bundy after that. Okay.
All right.
I've never met in my entire life a Dahmer, and I've never met a Gacy.
And his Dahmer was spelled different than Dahmer Chrysler. Dahmer Chrysler was spelled with an L, right?
Yes. Dahmer.
And his is Dahmer.
Dahmer. D-A-H. Yeah, so he's like Boston Dahmer.
What the fuck? And I agreed to that. All right, what else you got,
okay,
man?
So next, this person pretended that they were a prostitute, and because they were getting
there's only one
abused.
Yeah, monster.
Yeah.
She rocked that role.
She did.
I'd never heard of her until that movie, and then I, looked into it.
Yep.
That motherfucker was crazy. Oh, shit.
Eileen Wuornos?
Wuornos, yeah.
Wuornos.
But her childhood,
Wuornos.
you ever read up on her childhood? She was prostituted out, and she used to fuck for friends at 11, and then she was prostituted out, and her grandfather used to molest her, and she was beat by this person, that person. She was married, and fucked over, and you just get the perfect, the perfect mix of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you buy a brisket, and they say it's a lazy cow, right?
Yep.
So that one's gonna take longer to cook. No, that one takes shorter to cook.
Right.
An active cow takes longer to cook, right?
Yeah.
We learned that from the grill guys and from Half Baked Hippie. So you got to do what you got to do to get that mixed in right. Oh, God, I was going somewhere with this. I'm drunk.
Well,
anyhow, perfect mix of those things happening to her and whatever's going on in the fuck her mind, because I'm sure she's not the only person that had shit like that happen to her.
No.
And some people turn out close to fine as you can be.
Well, if you I guess they say if a child is abused and beaten or sexually assaulted as a child, the propensity of them doing that as they become an adult is greater than if someone that wasn't.
Okay.
So yeah, if that's happening to her, now what's she gonna do? She's gonna take it out on those assholes that she thinks is gonna do to her. An interesting fun fact about her. Okay. The majority, I think I say majority, I think it was 50%, so I guess that's half, but had the same name, had a similar name.
The people she killed?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. It begin with an M or a J?
Nope.
A. B.
C.
Charles. Chuck.
Yep, Charles. You
Really?
nailed it right off. Yeah. The majority of her victims had the name Charles in their name. Yeah.
No shit.
Now, whether she knew that or not, I don't know.
What if that's her grandfather's name or her first husband? We should look into that.
I don't know, but it's an interesting little tidbit. So if you're looking into her, Wuornos, she didn't like the Charleses.
Her last words was something along the lines of, "I'm going to be on a rocket ship and you'll see me July 28th." Seriously, some long distance taste. And John Wayne Gacy's was, "Kiss my ass."
Yeah. And,
that was his last one.
And Ted Bundy was, "Tell my family and friends I love them."
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Jeffrey Dahmer, his last words were nothing. The guy that killed him in jail, which killed him with a pipe or like
dumbbell,
like an iron, like a rod or something, said that he didn't make a sound. Did not make a sound. because he wanted to die. He
Okay.
he didn't believe that he should be alive at that point. He found God, in case anyone's
Well,
wondering.
that's because he's in prison.
Yeah, he was
You know
saved. But he didn't make a word. He didn't make a sound.
Okay. What
Yeah.
I don't like or appreciate, but what not even respect. What's different about Dahmer is when they caught him, he's like, yeah, I did that shit.
Yeah, and then he gave hours-long interviews.
I did
on
all
it.
that shit. That one there,
yeah.
I did all that. And Gacy lied, and Eileen said it's somebody else's fault.
And then Ted Bundy escaped twice. He
Smart.
escaped twice.
Smart motherfucker, man.
Now, the first time he was arrested here in this state of Utah, when he was arrested by the poor sheriff deputy that picked him up, that deputy had no idea what he was arresting. Here's an interesting little insider information. Maybe some of our listeners know this, maybe they don't. So, this sheriff's deputy was sitting on a road, and if anyone messaged me separately, I could tell you the exact roads because I know my family. I grew up in this neighborhood. My parents were there. I had my grandmother lived there, so it was all very close to home.
Holy shit! Were you involved with this? Are you confessing right now on air?
I'm about to. So this deputy lived right there.
Okay.
And he's sitting there.
Did you know him?
End of shift. Yeah, my family knows. I didn't know him.
Okay.
He's considerably older than me, but he was in the same retirement home as my grandmother, and they happened to live in the same neighborhood at the time. Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So he's sitting after shift. He's sitting there parked on the side of the road, and he sees this Volkswagen Beetle go by. And he's like, well, that's weird. It's 2 a.m. Nobody's out at 2 a.m. unless you're drunk, because Utah liquor laws and the nightlife in Utah isn't past 2 a.m.
Ain't shiznit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he drives by. He's like, well, that was kind of strange.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm just going to see, before I go into my house, I'm going to see what he's doing.
Let me go see if this boy is colored. No. I'll stop. Go ahead.
Could have been. So he trails him. He makes a loop up around the corner, and the bug pulls up in front of a house and stops. Well, this deputy, because it's one block over from where he lives, says, well, I know that house.
Okay.
That's the so-and-so's, and that's kind of weird. So he sees this, and he's like, well, it doesn't feel right. I've never seen this car in this neighborhood, because this is a long time ago, and the neighborhood was smaller, and you knew most people.
You knew everybody. Yeah, people were more sociable back then. They weren't stared at their phones.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, I don't think he belongs there. So he's like, I'm gonna talk to him. So he turns on his lights, the red and blues. The Beetle takes off.
Oh.
He's like, okay, now we got a problem.
Yeah.
So he goes through the neighborhood. We ends up driving by my parents' house at the time.
Literally.
Two times. Right by.
No shit.
Drives by, exits out onto a main road. Now it's a really busy main road. At the time, it was a 2-lane highway, and then turns into a gas station.
Okay.
He pulls him over, and he's like, oh, I was there to see the young lady. And the deputy goes, well, I know that young lady, and I see what I'm looking at here. You do not, you're 34. I don't know what his age was. She's 16.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, something's not up. So he ends up arresting him, finds out he's on the FBI's most wanted list for, serial killing. It is the Theodore Bundy, Ted Bundy, and he arrests him. So he's credited with, this huge thing. Well, then Ted Bundy escapes, and he goes Shawshank Redemption on him. He digs a damn hole through the wall, and in the middle of the night, he puts books in his bed, and he escapes.
Okay.
So if you didn't know that was Ted Bundy escaped Shawshank Redemption style.
That's badass.
Bounced out of here.
Yo, so for your money, because I'll give you mine after you give me yours.
Okay.
That sounds weird. I'll tell you what I think after you tell me what you think.
Show me yours.
Yeah, right. Please don't do that to me. Okay. But serial killers, do you think, do you give them a higher aptitude?
In what regard? What do you mean?
To be able, Bundy, he once abducted, and we're stuck on him, but he once abducted 2 people in the same day from the same area.
Yeah.
Smart guy?
For what he was doing, yeah.
Or charming or
Charming. He was having sex in his visitation. So people would come into the prison to do visitation. Random ladies would come over to the prison to visit him, and he was having sex while he was an inmate in prison.
Okay.
And he was getting love letters up to the day that he was executed. He was people. There was the cheering section of yay, he's finally gone because he's a piece of shit.
Saw those.
And then there was the celebration or the lamenting of his passing because he was such a charming man.
Okay.
So Ted Bundy's a little bit of a different. As far as serial killers, he was, for what he was after, very charming. He was smart. He was
Had to be intelligent.
charismatic.
Yes, yes.
He was good looking.
Mm-hmm.
He had all of it. So smart, I would say, yeah, he was. To do what he wanted to pull off, he was very smart.
If you ever get a chance, listen to what the judge said to him in Florida when he sentenced him. He talks about him.
Yeah.
My boy, you should have been a lawyer. I would have loved it. You to present in front of me. You got a witty mind, but you use it for evil. Okay, so you talk about people thinking he's hot and send him letters and shit. They did the same thing for Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker.
Yeah, they did.
Who looks like his fucking breath just stinks, man. He got fucked up teeth. He looks like the devil. You know what I mean? But women loved him too.
But I think it goes back to the whole we're infatuated. We're obsessed with serial killers. We're obsessed with murderers. We're obsessed with all of that as a society. We're messed up. We have a problem. The whole bad boy look. Mm-hmm. Like if you're the bad boy, you always get the hot girl because you're a bad boy. Yeah. It turns out you're just beating the shit out of her on the weekends.
Okay.
Or every other day. Like you're a shitty person.
Right.
Why we're infatuated with the bad boy, I don't know. I don't understand. What we should do, maybe this to kind of bring it back, is maybe we should know more of the victims' names than we do the killers' names.
Okay.
Because the more, like this Jeffrey Dahmer thing, I want to touch on this again real fast. There's this Netflix series out there, and it's very popular, and it's good, it's graphic, it's infuriating. This is why I think he's a racist. I watched it. Now they play it up to whatever it is, so whatever. However,
and I'm not saying he's not a racist. I was just on the other side out there.
I know.
That was for my cousins, because I don't want to get my ass kicked, okay?
I know.
That white boy's on brainwash you, Keith. What?
But so now it's very well documented. I have a lot of children, and some of them are in the junior high school range, middle school, wherever you're from, middle school, junior high school, those ranges, and they're talking about how kids are dressing up for Halloween as Jeffrey Dahmer.
Okay.
Now I said this. Listen, we have a party every year, and we do. I said, if any one of your friends or anyone that I know, or even if I don't know them, for hell's sake, shows up to my house as Jeffrey Dahmer, they're gonna be asked to leave. 100%. You can go. Leave. Get out of here. Why in the hell would we dress up and celebrate that asshole?
Where do you get those glasses from in the first place?
Everywhere. They're back in style. So, there's two style of aviator glasses. Sunglasses. I prefer the aviator sunglasses because I think they look better on my bullet-shaped face and head. Okay, I know it's shaped like a bullet. My little sister tells me every time she sees me. But there's two types of aviator glasses.
Number one with a bullet, huh?
So there's the aviator glasses with a single bar that connects the two lenses together. That's the right kind of aviator glasses. The Jeffrey Dahmer style is two bars across the top. And that's what's in fashion right now. I went to go get some new glasses. I'm not wearing them. I should do that more on this podcast and make my life easier.
I'm getting close to that, too.
Yeah. So, but I wanted some new aviators. I wanted some new sunglasses. But they only had two bars. And I'm like, where the single bar?
I'm not killing anybody.
No, I'm like, I don't want this shit. So you know what I ended up buying? I went with the Elton John sunglasses, which are
huge?
Glorious. They're not, but they're a little bit big. But they have like Elton John on the side, and the earpiece are Elton John.
I love that motherfucker.
So do I.
Elton John beats the shit out of Billy Joel. That's all I got to say.
He does.
We're talking about who's the best piano player. It's Elton John. All right, so you know who else wore those glasses? Here, let me drop some trivia on you. You're gonna guess fucking serial killers, all right?
Okay.
This motherfucker killed his grandfather, and I think his grandmother, when he was 15. Did a little time, got out, grew to be 6'10".
Oh shit!
Ended up killing a bunch of girls. He was a co-ed killer, is what they called him. But then he killed his mother. He chopped her head off, fucked her throat. Okay, because he's and then he took a larynx out and put it in the garbage disposal.
Yep. I don't remember his
Edmund
name.
Kemper.
Yes. Holy shit! Yeah, that dude. Yeah. That was nutty. He shouldn't have never been out after his parents. But then, didn't he do something like that to his mother too? Like how he had sex with the ladies. Like
that's who it was. His mother. He cut his mother's head off and had sex with her head.
But was that after he was already like out for the first grow?
Yeah, that was out after killing the grandparents.
Oh, it was the grandparents and then
Yeah.
his mother. That's
Grandparents
right. Yeah,
was a
yeah,
kid.
yes.
He wore those glasses as well.
Yeah, he did.
Uh-huh.
There's something wrong with wearing a 2-bar aviator.
Yeah.
That fashion needs to go.
It needs to go.
Because now kids can dress up as those guys really easily.
Right.
Like if you think about it, when the 80s and 90s that hits, and you see these assholes walk into court wearing that. What do they take off the shelves? That style. And you know what? We're just gonna be done with blonde hair at this point. Everybody suddenly like hair dye for brown brunettes goes on sale because everybody dye your hair brown and get rid of those glasses.
So here's this. So you have the Hillside Stranglers, which are actually a pair of cousins and which is rare to have two. And the only ones I can think of the Hillside Stranglers, the two cousins, I can't remember the names, some Italian names, right? And then you got the DC Snipers, which were a pair.
Yep.
And which threw me off is that they were black guys. Because when that was going on, I was like,
100% they're white dudes.
They're shooting motherfuckers covertly. So that's some dude that just got out the army. That's some whoever blew up the Timothy McVeigh.
Yeah,
that's
Timothy McVeigh.
That's some ex-military shit, right?
Yeah.
And they like no Jordans are coming up missing or no purses are being stolen, so it's got to be white dudes.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Kenneth Bianchi and Angelo Buono.
yeah, there you go. There's two cousins right there. Raping, torturing, and murdered 10 women from age 12 to 28, man. So that's even a harder thing to do.
See, most people would have to look that up to know the names.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's Hillside Strangler. I think they should have had their names.
Mm-hmm.
Now I get like these guys when they're doing it. The internet's not there, the social media's not there. TV's not as big and happening as it is now.
Okay.
So you have to give it for a headline. You have to give it a title.
Yeah.
You have to give it something. And so I understand
That makes sense. That does make sense.
So I understand it now. But the fact that that's what we have to go back to, it kind of saddens me because there's so many victims out there. And here's a question for you. Now, I know we're getting towards the end of this serial killer show.
Which is really uplifting, by the way.
Well, it's Halloween, and our Halloweens are never uplifting.
Right.
So go back through the years, and you'll see we've never done a uplifting Halloween. Are there serial killers that are sneaking around today?
I would think so. I don't think anything changes.
I don't think the internet ended serial killers.
Look at Israel Keys. I mean, he's pretty recent.
Mm-hmm.
People are still getting fucking murdered.
Yeah, I think the FBI's version or definition of serial killers is it 3 or more people in this similar fashion?
I don't know if similar fashion is
or is it just the number of people?
3 more people. Yeah, after a cool down period.
Okay. I would say, yeah. They're
Definitely.
floating around.
Because people are still getting murdered. I'd like to bring up another one, and I was going to say one more, but I don't know where you'll go off this, is Ed Gein.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
That fucking freak from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
He
had a lot of victims.
He had a lot of victims.
Holy shit.
And he would skin them and make lampshades and fucking pillowcases and all sorts of shit.
So Ed Gein and Ted Bundy, this is side trivia in case anybody's curious. Silence of the Lambs.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that was off of those two assholes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even from the part when he's trying to load the van with the cast on.
Yep.
And what are you, about a 14? She goes, yeah. And he bam with the fucking fake cast and beats her in the head and closes the door.
Yep.
And then with the skin in the shit, Buffalo Bill.
Buffalo Bill.
That's both those
Buffalo
guys.
Bill is Ed Gein and
Ted Bundy. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. But here's a guy who's getting no ass. Okay, because he was.
Have you seen him?
No, it wasn't just his looks. Because back to Richard Ramirez. Okay,
Yeah,
it wasn't
fair.
just his look. He was just fucking weird.
Yeah.
And his mother told him that women are dirty and pussy is bad.
Yeah.
And your father's a piece of shit. And she died. And I think he left her in the fucking room.
Yeah.
A la Psycho. And just started going out and fucking killing people and skinning them.
Yeah.
And my thing too with a serial killer.
Yeah.
Real
okay,
quick.
Yeah.
If I ruled the world, if you're a serial killer, instantly dead. I'm not feeding you no more because that costs me. Look, I got a puppy.
Nope. Yep.
I got a puppy. He's tearing up my fucking yard. I know what it's going to cost to get my yard back in shape. I know what it costs to feed him for vet bills and all that shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's say my puppy ate a baby.
Ooh.
Okay. He's got to go.
Yep.
He's got to go.
Yep. And I think even the city in which you live would say he's got to go.
Independent of that, He's got to go.
Yeah.
Now, let's take a serial killer that's killing fucking women and wearing them fucking dresses and putting their legs on their legs with their skin and shit. He's got to go. Why am I going to say, no death penalty? Oh, so you want to know where I stand on the death penalty? That's where I fucking stand. Hey, Dahmer, did you do this shit? Yeah, I did this. Okay, where's the bodies? They're over here, and they're in my belly. Really? Cool. Pooyah.
You're
out.
done. Yeah, and why do we give a shit if they suffer?
No.
Why do we care?
No. They didn't afford the victims that same opportunity.
Nope. Because there's a lot of so when Ted Bundy found out that he got the death penalty, he was like, "Oh, but to take a life, it's asshole. How many lives have you taken? And you didn't give a shit, and now you're worried about your own.
That's the cunning.
You little bitch.
That's the cunning. Yeah.
Yeah, you little bitch. It's a waste of time.
I don't know why we don't have an executioner job no more. Some guy that was
We
maybe
need
an
a guillotine.
He was maybe an extra in fucking Gladiator, right? And he can swing a hell of a mallet. And you put him in a room with this guy, and he just goes to town.
We need a guillotine. Is what we need. We need a giant ass blade that drops out of the sky that just chops heads off and makes it. I don't care if they suffer or not. Like, it doesn't matter to me. I just don't want them existing on Earth.
Okay, I'm with you.
Gone. Just be gone. Because you went boom, like you shot them and they were done.
Yeah.
I think a guillotine sends more of a message, because it's like, we're gonna put you out in front of the public. And we're going to put your head in a hole.
Okay.
And then this gigantic-ass blade is going to drop down.
Coming.
Even an executioner with a giant, like, axe.
If
cool.
I'm being completely honest, I'd go Al Capone, Robert De Niro, and the Untouchables version with that fucking baseball bat is what I'd really go. Me and you
suffer a little bit, but you know at the end what's going to happen.
Do you think you could get away with a murder today? Cameras everywhere. You got fucking fingerprints and CSI and LL Cool J and Shamar Moore running around. You got Benson and Stabler on fucking NBC chasing ass. Think about it. You think you could get away with one?
I don't think I could. I don't know. I mean, I'm not in the business, but I don't think I could. But that being said, now I can't even run away from custody payments. So I don't think I could get away with murder. However, there are people that get away with both, I think. And I do think that we have serial killers right under our noses and we have no idea. We've talked about this before. I think if you're walking down a main street in some, like, big city USA, and you're walking along, I think you walk by a serial killer.
Absolutely.
I think you walk by a cannibal.
Absolutely.
I think you walk by a Jeffrey Dahmer.
Well, the fucking dude that put the ad out, I don't know where it was. I want to say it was in France. Maybe it was in America. I don't know. The guy that put the ad out to have somebody be subjected to being killed and eaten. Yeah. And the first thing they did when somebody actually showed up for this fucking ad. Hey, eat me. And the guy's like, you serious? He's like, yeah, word. I'm down. And the first thing they did is they chopped his fucking dick off, and they tried to cook it, and they both tried to eat it. It was too tough, so they fed it to the dog. And after that, they put him in the bathtub, and they started cutting pieces off him. And they fucking killed him, and the dude signed a consent form to be killed and eaten. So there's two things wrong there. There's two motherfuckers that need to be wiped out. Yeah, look, don't procreate if this is the way you're looking at life.
And I get it. You never know what's coming out at the end when you're having that good evening, and you never know what you're going to procreate. However, when we get to the point where that's what you've done, it's time to go.
What do you say? The best part of you rolled down the crack of your mama's ass. That's what we should name this episode, Wood.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
That is what I'm saying. But that, guys,
that was a great movie.
It was.
Fucking Full Metal Jacket. The way something Embree's his name. The best part of you wrote down the crack of your mama's ass.
Yeah.
Like,
there's a lot of things in that show that you could not.
Fucked up myself.
You can't play that show today.
You couldn't play it today. That show did denigration. That show spawned a fucking hit song, Me So Horny.
Yep.
Right? And the buku. I learned Vietnamese off that. Alabama Black Snake, I learned that term. I never even been to Alabama.
Yeah.
That movie's done a lot for a lot of people.
Yeah, it has. And you couldn't air it today in today's society. Anyway, guys, hope you appreciate. This is our All Hallows Eve episode. Now, it might not be we're not sitting with the ghosts today. We're not mingling with them. We're not talking about the demons that have haunted me or the AIDS that have visited Keith.
This is real life shit. Real
But
life
this
shit.
is real life. This is people that live amongst us. So be careful out there.
I should have told my heart attack story that I told upstairs.
Oh, you
before we
should
did
have.
that.
Yeah, Keith did have a heart attack, guys. It was scary.
There's a
That's
reason-
another episode that we could save that. We could put a pin in it and save it for another day. But guys, this is our Halloween show. Serial killers are pieces of shit. If any child, juvenile, teen, adult shows up to your house dressed as a serial killer, especially Jeffrey Dahmer, send them on their way. Tell them, no candy for you. No food for you today.
Yeah.
And send them on their way
Yeah.
because they're assholes. Check out our sponsors. You know where they're at, guys. Also, next week, we are playing live the episode that we did with Mint Ketchup. So you'll want to check that out next week. But this week is Halloween. Enjoy your Halloween tomorrow because tonight, this year, we got lucky. It wasn't today. So anyway, enjoy your Halloween. Have a good time. Be careful. Be safe out there. Whew. And with that, Keith, I got to tell you, my man, it has been nothing short of a spectacular pleasure.
Keep those dentists employed. We out.